Hey everybody, I'm Belinda Sandor. Welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. Let's get started. Hey everybody, I'm Belinda Sandor. Welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. Today we're gonna share tactical and practical information all about your virtual assistant business, whether you're just starting out or you've been a VA for a while. And I'd love to hear where you're coming in from in the comments. So please jump on in. I can see you joining me here, which is very exciting. Lessons from the Cockpit is brought to you by the VA Connection. And at the VA Connection, we work with new, aspiring, and established virtual assistants and help them build thriving businesses through our free online communities, courses, and coaching programs. Today, we're going to focus on how many clients you need to have a booked out VA business. But before we dive in, I'm going to introduce myself. And while I do, tell me where you're coming in from. So we've got Talara's here from Calgary. We've got someone from Atlanta. We've got Frederica from Amsterdam. We've got someone from Pennsylvania. I'm guessing that's Maria. So that's exciting. Come on in. So this is me and my delicious daughter. This was back in 2010 when she was just 9 and I was starting out as a virtual assistant. And this was a very challenging time in my life. There was a lot going on. There's a lot going on. It was like I woke up one day and everything I thought that should be in my life or that I had planned to be in my life as I was about to turn 50 was not in place. It was a little alarming. I thought by the time I was 50, I'd have a happy marriage. I would have financial stability. I would have a really good job. I would own a home. And what I found was that everything was shifting. Everything was shifting and none of those things were in place. And so I was completely overwhelmed. I felt as if I wasn't in the room anymore. I really felt as if I wasn't in the room anymore. And I decided that it was time for that to change. And so what I ended up doing is pretty much blowing up my life. And I did that starting from a place of financial disaster. I had 6 figures of debt. I had back taxes to file. I got divorced. So I'm a newly single mom, had to sell my home, and I'm just sort of standing in the rubble, okay, and it was difficult because I just didn't understand how to get out of it, except I knew for sure that I needed to do something different. And having a job that was going to pay me $50 or $60 or even $70,000 a year, where I would get a 1% increase, when the boss thought that was good, wasn't going to do it. I knew I needed to bust out in a big way. And so I really like doing admin work. I had done it back in the dark ages when we were called secretaries. I'd been an office manager. And so I thought, okay, I could start a business helping people with admin work. So I just started telling everybody that I knew. And one morning at the school bus stop, one of the dads said to me, what's new? And I said, I'm starting a business. I had no clients, nothing. I said, I'm starting a business and I'm going to help people with office work, admin help. And his entire face changed. It was like the seas parted, right? And Will is standing there and he's like, we have to talk. And I said, okay, what's going on? And what I didn't know was that he started a business. And it's funny because probably back then, if I knew he had started a business, I probably wouldn't have told him because I was afraid he was going to think I was selling to him, right? Which I wasn't. But he did. He had started a business a couple months before. He was swimming in administrative details, and he needed someone to come in, pay his bills, organize his email, puts computer software on computers, do errands and things like that, things that I could already do. And he was thrilled. So I started doing that. And then, a month or so later, I'm in the buffet line of a wedding. I'm making small talk with a man and his wife. He asked me what I'm doing. Now I have a client, right? So I'm like, I'm helping businesses with admin work. I had no idea about the title of virtual assistant back then. That took a little while. But I connected with him on LinkedIn. I didn't even have a business card yet. I connected with him on LinkedIn. And a few weeks later, he got in touch with me and said, can you help me with an event? And I said, you bet, right? And he needed me to come to the event, set up the registration online, and do some things that I didn't know how to do, but I figured it out. And then I went to the event and I sold his books and handed out, the handout and took attendance or something. And afterward we went out and we grabbed a cup of tea and he said, I want to do this online. I want to do webinars. And this was a long time ago. This was, in 2010. So it wasn't like it is today where everybody's online. It was really different. And I said, I don't know how to do that. And he said, yeah, but I know that you can figure it out and I don't want to. And so that's when I knew this was going to work, because if someone was willing to pay me to figure things out and to do everyday things that I already knew how to do, this was going to work. So that was pretty exciting. And the takeaway from that is that I don't want you to go out prospecting and looking for people and putting flyers up on, the wall in the diner. I want you to just build on the existing relationships that you have and new ones that you're creating as you go. Okay. And so fast forward, I've been in business since 2010. My business is called Rocket Girl Solutions. I've worked with over 200 clients and I've made over $1 million. And I should recalculate that because now it's way over $1 million. The first year I was in business, I made $70,000. And for the next 10 years, I made $100,000 or more as a virtual assistant, just servicing my clients, no other income source. And it's been pretty exciting. And now really fast forward, this is what it looks like today. So this is my husband, Greg. We got married in the summer of 2021. And these are our kids. You can see Emily is all grown up and Greg's 4 boys, David, Charlie, Stephen, and Andy. And life is very different now. My finances are under control. All the taxes have been filed. I'm friends again with the IRS, if that's possible. And, things are moving, they're moving along and we're making, we continue to make changes in our lives to get further down the road to where we want to be. And mostly the thing that was important for me was that I was there for Emily when she was growing up and I could turn my life around at a point where I really didn't think I was going to be able to. So here's the burning question. How many clients do I need? All right. How many clients do I need? And I've heard multiple times from VAs, I hear it all the time. I hear it on the Kickstart challenge. I hear it in the Facebook group. People will say, I just need one more client and I'll be all set. If I could just get 2 clients, I'll be all set. And here's the thing. I have never understood this. And I think that you will agree when we get through this, this talk right now, because here's the thing. I've worked with over 200 clients, right? Like 220 clients, and not one of them has ever remained consistent. Not one. Now they might be consistent for a period of time, but even then, my biggest client, he has had stretches of months where I was working 7 or 10 hours for him, which in my experience is a lot to work for a solo professional or small business owner. Maybe there's a bunch of hours in the beginning and then you go into maintenance mode. That could absolutely happen. So, I could work for him. I know there have been some weeks where it was 12 or 14 hours, when he had a lot of things going on, but then the next week it was maybe 2 hours, or 3, we're back to maintenance. And then I have also a large portion of my clients will need me once or twice a month, for just a couple of hours. And that's why I want you to have a lot of clients. And at the height of my Rocket Girl business, I had 53 clients, but it was manageable because they all didn't need me all the time. All right. And the thing that I want you to think about too is that there's a few things. One is that if you only have 3 clients, it's kind of like having a job, right? Because there's that single point of failure, where somebody says, oh, I'm going to retire. I'm going to this, I'm going to that. And then you have to, fill in the slack. So in the case of my biggest client, I met with him a couple months ago and he said, you know what? I'm going to cut way back. I'm going to retire. I'm X number of years old. And that relationship was between $17,000 and $20,000 a year, but I'm not breaking out in a sweat because I have so many other clients and I can fill that spot. Right? Doing the things that I teach you guys. So the other thing is that, the other thing is that we don't want to put pressure on our clients, right? We don't want to put pressure on them like, I need more work, I need more work, because that defeats the whole purpose of the virtual assistant relationship, which is that you're there when they need you, right? And another example of this is my client Diane. So she will have a period of time where she gets hired to do a big project, right? And I'm all in with her, and it could be a ton of hours, but when it's over, it gets quiet again. So like I said, some people will have routine work, and some people will have, big bursts of energy, work when they need me. But you don't want to put pressure on clients to give you more work. And I don't suggest making that your focus. I have heard virtual assistants say, trying to figure out how to get my client to give me more work. I would say deliver really good quality work, do it in a timely fashion, be a good communicator, and let them see where there are places. If you see them doing something, you can suggest, I can do that for you. And they might say, oh, wow, I didn't know that. That's perfectly fine. But I'm talking about like a campaign, launching a campaign to figure out, how many more things you can take from your client, because they might not be able to afford it. They might not want that much help. And so we have to remember that the work really belongs to them, and they're sharing it with us, right? And it's really about them. So I want you to go have a ton of clients, and I'm going to help you figure out what to focus on and how to know when you're at the number. Okay. So instead of looking at your business in terms of number of clients, I want you to look at it in terms of billable hours you need per week to hit your monthly and your yearly revenue goal, and aim for that instead. Okay. So let's say hello to some of the people that are here, and then we're going to dive into this. We're going to do a little math. All right. We're going to do a little math. So awesome. So we've got Joanne here from the UK. Hello. And Dana's here from Colorado. Hello to Tori here from South Carolina. And we've got a Facebook user in Arizona and Chicago and Frisco, Texas. That's probably Michelle. Hello, 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 everybody. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. All right, are you ready for some math? All right, let me take a sip of caffeine. Okay, math. Here we go. So, revenue equals billable hours times hourly rate. Okay, it's really that simple. Billable hours. So billable hours are the number of hours that you're doing client work that you can charge clients for. Okay. So if a client gives me 5 hours of work, I do it in 5 hours, I bill 5 hours. Now, those 5 hours multiplied by your hourly rate is how much money you're going to make, right? That's your revenue. So the thing about this is that I bet most of you don't know how many billable hours it takes to hit your target. And that's a really important thing to know. And I'm going to show you in a minute how you can figure, or where you can go to figure that out. So throughout my career, it was important to me to continue to look for clients, because I knew that they would go away, they would get busy, their cat would die, all of these different things. And I didn't want what was happening in their life to have a big impact on me, right? I wanted to be self-reliant. And so how I did that was by getting a lot of clients. Now, that means that you need to have your client, machine turned on all the time, right? All the time. And I was bringing on between 1 and 3 clients on average a year. So I think it was like, well, I know how many it was. It was about 24, 26 clients every year, and the same number, for some of them go away, and you just want this nice flow so that there's no panic attack. Even when someone who's giving you 10 hours a week goes away, you're like, you can honestly say to them, if they're worried about going away, you can say, it's okay, my business is doing well. Thank you. I love working with you. Come back if you need me. I'm right here. Love to work with you again. Okay. And that feels really good to be able to do that. Now, so the message here is you need to continue to get new clients. And what I want you to do is I want you to have the problem of too much work. That's a good problem, right? We could solve that problem. We can bring friends in. We can renegotiate deadlines. We can work more hours, right? But that's the problem I want you to have, all right? Where you're just like, whoa, I have a lot of work, okay? And it might seem chaotic while you're getting used to it, but you'll get used to it. You will absolutely get used to it. So I want you all to think about that. And Tori says, focusing on billable hours instead of the number of clients was a light bulb moment and a game changer. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. All right. So Farim says that he's working as a lead generation and contact list builder. That's very interesting. So that's a lot of what I want you all to do, is that I want you to go out into your contacts and I want you to stay in touch with them, right? And build those relationships on a regular basis. Now, if you want more information about this, I want to make sure you know about this tool, okay? Now, all of the students of VA school, whether you are in VA school currently, or you've graduated, or if you're in the VIP club, have access to all of the templates in the template bank. Okay. The template bank is your one-stop shop for all the essential templates you need to run your VA business. And they're the templates that I continue to use. And the one I'm going to tell you about two of them right now. One of them is called the revenue calculator. And the revenue calculator walks you through how many, you essentially put in how many hours you want to work, what you're currently charging, and how many weeks you want to work a year. And it tells you your number. And you can play with this until you figure out, what your number is, and the thing is once like for me, my number was between 35 and 37 hours a week. That's what I was shooting for. And on average, it was less than that because things happen. You go on vacation, Emily graduates from high school or whatever it is, need to take time off. But between 35 and 37 hours of billable work a week, it was what my target is. So once I knew that, I didn't have to think about the money all the time, right? I was just focusing on the hours. So I did the math, found out what the number was, embraced it, right? Made any adjustments I needed to make with my clients and new clients, and then was able to hit that number. So I'm putting my time in all day. I'm looking at, how much I'm accomplishing and competing with myself a little bit. Like, well, how much can I, how many billable hours can I have today? Now, the other thing that's really important is tracking your revenue for the year. And there's a beautiful spreadsheet in the template bank as well for doing that, where you can put in every time someone pays you, you put in the number of hours and the hourly rate. And there's this little box over on the right that calculates the average for you, and it projects for you what your number is going to be at the end of the year. And that's something that I use every single day. And I have since, I think we invented that in like 2012 or 2013. And I do it every single year. In December, I create a new one, I copy it, take the data out, and go from there. So really important to know. Also in the template bank, there's client onboarding checklists, there's outreach emails, there's my welcome email, all kinds of information. So check that out. If you're not currently part of VA School or the VIP Club, you can go to the vaconnection.com and click programs at the top, and you'll see the template bank. All right, so I want you guys to really think about, and even if you're not a big fan of math, I want you to think about what your number is. Get clear about your number, know your number. And then what you can start to do is think about, okay, what can I do to hit that number? And sometimes that means on a Friday when maybe you were not planning to work, but something changed and you can, going around for all those little tasks where the client said, when you get to it. So get to it, right? Get to it, clean it up. And you don't have to worry. There'll be more work the next week. When you have enough clients, you'll be carrying work over to the next week. But I often on a Friday or even a Saturday morning would say, you know what? I need 2 more hours to hit that number. And Greg would go play tennis or paddle, and I would sit down at my desk. Emily would be asleep, and I would crank through those 2 hours and boom, hit my number. Nothing feels better. Nothing feels better. All right, you guys, I'm so excited about that. And I also want to tell you about what's coming up. We are doing the Kickstart Challenge again. We are getting ready right now. The Facebook group is rolling. We've got about 400 people in it. And I would love to have you join us. So this is a 5-day free training on how to get a steady stream of clients in your business. If you've done the Kickstart Challenge before and you want to do it again, jump on in. I love when people do it multiple times. In fact, we have some people who have done it like 5 times, and that makes it a lot of fun because I start to get to know you guys and recognize you. So to sign up, go over to the vachallenge.info. You'll find a sign up page there where you can jump in. You'll get an email with an invitation to join the Facebook group. And we're going to really jump in. So if you're just thinking about being a VA, or you've been one for a while and you're like, what the heck, I am not getting this steady stream of clients, I would love to have you join me. On day 1, we talk about all the services you can offer starting right now from where you are. On day 2, we learn to talk about your work so that people will understand and be able to spread the word on your behalf. That is a magical day. On Wednesday, day 3, we talk about where to be so clients can find you. Because I don't go out and find clients, clients find me. And there's a way to do that. A very simple way to do that. On Thursday, we have a talk all about the systems you need to support your VA business, like note taking and credit card processing, and all the things that you need to really support that business. And then I open doors to VA School, which is my signature course, 9-month program, where I walk you through, holding your hand step by step, how to have a successful and thriving virtual assistant business. And then on day 5, we have Q&A. So if you have questions, how do they say it? You have Q's, I have A's. Come on over and join me right there. I'd love to have you. Okay, you guys, have a great rest of your day. Thanks for coming. Go do the math, figure out your number, and get comfortable with it, and then make it a target that you are looking to hit every single week. All right, have a great rest of your day. Thanks for coming. Bye for now.